Connecticut. She graduated from Temple University with distinguished honors in 2017. So she's close to it. She studied criminal justice and Spanish while receiving a certification in Latin American Studies in Honduras, Costa Rica. Nala B is a singer, lyricist, and a songwriter. Her impactful music has reached nations and afforded her the opportunity to partner with corporations such as Dell Computers to market and promote her music. Her latest release single, You Are Enough, is currently available on all music platforms. She has been recognized by the Huffington Post, Hyperfresh Magazine, BuzzFeed, Funtime Magazine, and many more. Nala is the annual headline performer for Michelle Obama's Reach Higher Intuitive College Signing Day at the Wells Fargo Center. She is most noted for her guest appearance on The Real Talk Show that aired nationwide on Fox News for her viral So Gone challenge. She reached over 2 million views on that video. She was featured as the lead vocalist on a Comedy Central series, and Nala B has opened for Temple University's Homecoming featuring Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out. Her mission is to inspire, uplift, and educate others, especially young women, through her gift to music, which is us. So, welcome Nala B.
Firstly, I just want to say it's a privilege, it's a blessing, and an honor to be here. I am Nala B. I'm a singer, songwriter, and some other things that I'm going to get into in this presentation. But I just want to make sure what I'm trying to get across comes across, and I'm striving to connect and not for perfection. I want to connect with you all today. Because perfection is we can't reach that, but I'm just going to strive to connect with you guys. I came from Philly, so it's about 3 hours away. I seen some Philly natives in here. Okay, we have Jersey in the building. We have Connecticut in the building. New York. Okay. All right. So, any places? Did I miss anyone? Maryland.
In the building?
Okay, all right. So we're gonna get started. The world tried to convince me that my dark skin didn't symbolize the essence of a Nubian queen. So I found the strength to look in the mirror, confess to myself that my black is indeed beautiful and it has a history of gold. I said this poem for a pageant that it was for the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Miss Black and Gold pageant that I was privileged to win. But it wasn't winning that really got my attention. It was being able to express myself and express. I grew up in Danbury, Connecticut, and I was one of the only black students in most of my classes. And it was very hard to learn who I was, who I am. I wasn't really accepted. And so I'm going to talk about that more and just saying how much of a struggle it was for me learning how to love myself, learning how to appreciate my skin. And I know that colorism has been talked about a lot more in these upcoming years. And sometimes it can, still go down by the riverside, but still girls are struggling with this today. So I think it's still important to talk about this topic. So some key pointers today I'm going to be discussing. Write your story, live your truth, unlock your gifts, and be your own definition of success. So yesterday I got to do a Q&A session with some of the general population in the school, and I asked them, how do you define success? And at the core of everyone's answers, one thing that I found that stayed the same was peace. Having peace with whatever you do, whether it's singing, whether you're being a doctor, whether you're a millionaire, whether you're not, having peace with whatever you do, because what good is riches when you have no peace? Right. So I'm not separated by a lot of years. I gave my age out, I'm 23. And so I'm around the same age as some of the students here. here. I graduated 2 years ago. And right now, I want to open it up for discussion with your table for about a minute to answer this question. How would you define success? No, I want to do a different question for this one. How would you define beauty? I think that's more fitting for right now. So how would you define beauty? You guys talk amongst yourselves, and then we're going to have some share out. Oh, you have the mic? Okay. Oh, the clicker? Take about 30 more seconds. Okay, I go. So I would like, Justine, do you have time? So would anyone like to share out how they would define beauty?
Hello,
Hi.
I am Elaine, and I define beautiful as from within, first and foremost, self-respect, and showing in everything that I do, how I do it, and how I say it.
Right.
Growing into self-confidence, brought out the beauty in me, and that is how I define beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to share? All the hands going up.
I would say like beauty is not really like a definition, but it's like what basically like who you are and like the different characteristics that make you feel beautiful.
Right. Thank you. I like that. Take one.
Hello. For me, I define beauty as freedom.
Freedom.
Yes,
I like that.
because for me personally, I was in bondage for so long that now I am free. So, and I'm joyous and I'm happy and I'm living my best life. So I define beauty as freedom.
Freedom. I love it. Thank you. We'll take one more.
Hello. My name is Tia, and I define beauty as like pretty much how you present yourself. Like looking at other people is not like what you see. It's like how that person acts, how they walk, how they talk. You're like, wow, she has a beautiful personality or a beautiful way she thinks and stuff. So I think it's more not really like your skin, like what you're in is pretty much how you feel. Like you can feel beautiful and have terrible morning breath. And it's it's just the way people see you. Like, they don't know that, you're going through some tough times, but they just know you carry yourself pretty beautiful. Your dreams are beautiful. So yeah.
Well, thank you. So first off, I just want to say all of those responses were beautiful in their own way. They were a little different, each one of them, but at the core of it, again, what I found is I listened, is being your authentic self. Whatever that is, being your authentic self to me is what defines me. Yeah, so thank you guys. I want to give another round of applause for you guys. So a little about myself. I'm a believer, first and foremost.
That's right.
I'm a woman of God, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. Hey! Let me get this right. So I said, without my faith in God, my tree of life would have no roots.
My God.
And truthfully, when I start any performance, when I'm speaking, I say a prayer. You know, I get nervous whether I'm performing in front of 1,000, 10, church, the same church going every Sunday. I still get nervous, and I'm not ashamed to say it. But when I start off with prayer and know that God is the power behind everything, I just have to do what I have to do.
Won't he do it?
Yes, he will. So I am a black woman. Yes, let's celebrate that. Yes. So beyond the color of our skin lives a culture of resilience that defines our story. So this is where I want to get into where I grew up, how it was, and hopefully it can help someone who's going through the same struggle. So I'm from Danbury, Connecticut. It is a predominantly white town. And in my classes, I was the only black girl. And then on top of that, I was darker skinned. So I did not feel a lot of love from my classmates at all. I always found myself having to prove that I was smart, prove that I can be on the same level as you, prove that I can turn off the colloquial talk and be professional. I always felt myself having to prove something until I got to a place where I'm like, I don't really have to prove anything. I am who I am, and it will speak. And I had to, since I didn't get validation from a lot of people, especially not my classmates, I had to find internal self-love. And that's what motivated me to just, this is what I speak about. Not saying that there's anything wrong with loving someone else. I think when you love yourself completely, and when you're whole completely, that is so radiant and beautiful that it attracts other people. You know, and it's not about vanity, it's not about self-conceit, it's just about knowing who you are, loving who you are, accepting who you are, and serving others. And that's my big motto. I'm here to serve. Whether it's singing, whether it's speaking, whether it's teaching, which we're going to learn about in just a second, I'm here to serve. You know, I'm here as a vessel to just give my gifts out because I don't own them. They're not mine. I didn't ask for them, but I'm blessed to have them.
Yeah.
So, we're black women. So, I want to talk about my trip to Costa Rica. I graduated from Temple. These are the puentes, the bridges in Costa Rica. And this is when I felt my most free. You said freedom. My free self, my pure self. I don't think free is a word, but I felt so pure when I was there. And as I'm speaking, I'm even getting flashbacks. But this says, mi espíritu es libre pura vida. So that's basically saying my spirit is free, pure life. Is there any Spanish? ¿Hablas español? Aquí? No? No? ¿Cuál es aquello? The Haitian? A little bit? I asked yesterday. I just like to do a little culture check. I love language. I do speak Spanish. I speak a little Creole. And most importantly, I live with a family in Costa Rica. So if you guys ever get a chance to study abroad, I would definitely say go. I learned a lot about myself, about their culture, about how to evolve, and how people don't have the same mannerisms as us, and how to get accustomed to that. You know, when I'm going to tell a little story. When I was in Costa Rica, there was a zip line that everyone wanted to go on. I was with like about 20 of my classmates, and I'm terrified of heights. I'm terrified. And so, but it didn't look that high up, and I thought it was only like two courses. It ended up being around 10 courses. And once you zip line to one of them, you had to like climb up to a tree and go to another one. And the only way to go, like get back to the resort campus was to zip line, because that's how high up we were. And we were literally in the clouds. And it was already up a mountain we were going. So we were like in the sky. And so we got to that last one, and it was called a mile-long rope. and it was a mile zip line. And you had to go with either 2 or 3 people, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have to wait to get you across the line. So that's how long it was. I was terrified. I said, I'm not going. I said, well, you're going to be up here by yourself. And so I'm like, okay, the only way to go is this way. So I get on with 3 people. I'm in the middle because I needed all the security. I needed everything. And so while we're zip lining, I let go and I just felt free. I just felt so free. And I wrote this in a reflection, thinking back, and it goes, I zipped across the canopy just to find my soul staring back at me. Back at me, where do I go? Back at me, where do I flow? Into the circle of life I go. So, thank you guys. That was just a simple reflection of my trip. So if you get to study abroad, go. So here is the power of networking, baby. So I'm gonna talk about some of my highlights that I totally didn't see coming. And most of this happened my senior year and after my senior year. So this picture right here, I'm getting it out of the way. This was on the Real Talk Show. I did a So Gone challenge that went viral, and I basically talked about, the start of it goes back when I was a little kid. I thought my skin was too dark. They hated melanin. Going to Harlem was the place to be. Hearing Nubian girl, your God's gift, you see. That affirmation was motivation and inspiration. Why I feel it's relevant to have this conversation. So be patient and listen to what I'm really saying. I'm about to go in words, power, and elevation. Young queens, don't forget to love yourself, giving out all of your love, but forgetting about thyself. Remember, we all are headed not to tell. This isn't to self-indulge, but understand we prevail. Beautiful is the woman that knows her worth, picks up her broken pieces, continues to put the work. Because even when we fail, we're strong, we rise up. And I hope you was feeling the song. So I did that on my phone, and it went viral. And I got the chance to meet Monica and win a little $500 on the show. I was so happy. I was in school at the time and had to take off from class. And some of my professors, attendance is big at Temple. So although it's a big school, like if you miss class, it comes out of your participation and stuff. And she was not trying to give me the points because I had to leave for like 3 classes. And 3 classes in college is like 2 weeks, you know, but you don't have them every day. So, but then she said, but what channel is it gonna be on? And I'm like, but anyways, there's some pictures of Wildin' Out. This is a picture when I graduated. I did Kendrick Lamar. Does anyone know Kendrick? Yeah, we know Kendrick. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I did a rap to his DNA, and it was just basically celebrating some of the things I did in college. And I was privileged to get put on the Huffington Post, and just some things that I'm saying all these things to just say, if you have something that itch in you that you really want to get out, you don't know where it's going to take you. Because I didn't know where these were going to take me at all. I just was in it's literally phone recording. That's a phone recording. And just basically celebrating ourselves. There's so much bad news all the time. And sometimes it's just good to harp on what's good and just to say I overcame, you know? So here's the power of networking. Here's some of the pictures, the Apollo. That was like a childhood dream. Because when I went to Harlem, my mom would take me to Harlem and 125th Street. And that's when I would feel like, as a little girl, like, oh my gosh, they said I was pretty, Mom. Oh my gosh. They said, hey, sister. I didn't hear that growing up, like, at all. So hearing those little things, like, were embedded into me as a little kid. So the power of networking. So where am I? Post-college. I am a science teacher for 6th grade. So on top of performing and speaking, I'm a science teacher. This is by far the hardest job. Yeah, the hardest job. When I take the heels off, I'm about as tall as the students. So, of course, they like to bully little Miss Nala. So, Yeah, so I'm a science teacher. I posted this a few days ago for in honor of Black History Month. And this is a picture from Comedy Central. I was privileged to do a show called Another Period, Season 3, and it aired on Comedy Central, and I was doing the voiceover and the theme song, and so I was saying, tune in to Comedy Central at 10 p.m. So it was so cool, like turning on the TV, I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it! God, it was me! So that was completely unexpected. Oh, and how that actually happened was a networking event. It was a networking event, there were different, MTV was there, Comedy Central. I sat down, I was actually performing at the event. I wasn't even like a part of it registered. But he was just sitting there by himself. I'm like, I'm gonna go up and speak to him. And he heard my performance. He said, here's my email, send me some stuff. I sent some stuff. I got a call back. He's like, hey, there's this open slot. Are you willing to, I'll send you paperwork and everything. I'm like, me? Where? Oh yeah, I took off of work. I said, I'm out, and went to New York, and there you go, it's on TV. And yeah, so just the things I want to say, you don't know where things will lead at all. And you want to read it out for me?
When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Talk about it. Yes. By the late Maya Angelou, author. This was in college. This was extremely important to me. This quote, because I tried to hold on to everybody. You know, I really did, and I mean that. I tried to hold on to all my friends, especially since moving from Danbury to Philly. I'm like, oh, these college friends are lifetime. You hear lifetime college friends, you know. But then it started to weigh on me, like, we're going two separate ways. Right. And it's all right to let go. There's a season for everything. And I had to start talking to myself, because that sophomore year going into junior year was very difficult, because a lot of my friends, we started going on different paths. And, you know, accepting the fact, and I'm still trying to come to grips with this too, there's a season for everything. And some are for a lifetime. I know we heard Tyler Perry say it, some are for a season. And don't be afraid to let go. Sometimes there's some liberty in that, and that I'm still learning this. I'm saying this still knowing there's a lot more I need to learn about that. But sometimes, you know, just to keep hearing it, you know, every step, you know, is a walk in the right path. So I just wanted to put this here in honor of Black women, because I love Maya Angelou. Oh man, that was my mom's role model, and I just grabbed on. And this quote, take it, grab it, hold it, something. And lastly, Temple, I know I'm at my girl. So I'm so, like, I love my school. The ups and downs, the everything. When I wanted to I was thinking about transferring after my freshman year, because it was a big culture change for me. Fun story, freshman year, of course, I'm a freshman, going out with my friends, went to a party, and it's called the Upper Level. And we're walking there, going there, and it was the hottest venue ever. And when I say hottest, it was hot. Like, it was like 100 degrees in there. But everyone wanted to stay for some reason. The floor was about to cave in. I don't know where we were. But when the night was over, I remember going back to my dorm room, looking outside, and just seeing like 1,000 Black people. Because it was like a big party. Like, they took buses from like Cheney and all these buses from different schools. And I remember, like, look at my people. Right. We're all in college. Freshman year, we're having fun. But I didn't have to pretend to be anybody. I didn't have to pretend to be too Black. I didn't have to pretend to be too white. I didn't have to fit in a mold. It just was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I seen women, I seen men, I seen athletes, I seen singers, I seen it all. And it just was such a great feeling coming from this little town in Danbury to this big city and just seeing so many educated people just yeah. So some of the distinguished honors that I got: Criminal Justice Faculty Award, the Diamond Award for Academics, Latin American Studies certification, and all of this, I put these up here: hard work, dedication, fulfillment, and consistency. And on my cap, I put she had to fight for her, because I had to fight for me in college. Yes, I made the dean's list, I had academic success, but it was not easy. You know, we tell the story of all the glory, but you don't know the story behind it. You know, and it was a very big transition for me from Danbury to Philly. You know, I told this story yesterday. One road, one wrong turn, you're on the wrong street. And there were a few times where I'm like on 9th and Diamond, like, I don't think class is this way. Yeah, I'm like, I don't think class is this way. And privy enough, some of the locals there would say, I don't think it belongs here. so I needed that. But the last thing I want to end with, here's some social media, guys, if you guys want to stay connected. Some of you guys do know I do repost. If you post anything, I do repost. But I remember, and this is not to reflect any bias or anything, but this is just a personal, story for me. When I went to church, the pastor said this story, and this is how I'm taking this story, but I just think it would be good to say right now. There was a waitress that served the table. She was extremely rude. She didn't really know who she was talking to, and the person at the table was very rich, and she was extremely rude to them. And at the end of the day, when it was time, the bill was time to get paid or whatever, he gave her a tip, and the tip was over $100. And she went back up to the man while they were walking out and said, I didn't deserve this tip. She confessed, she knew she was rude. She admitted to, I didn't deserve this tip. All that was said, just saying that one little line. And he said to her, I didn't give you this tip because you deserved it. I gave it to you because you needed it. I was in church like, oh man. And I end off with that to say, sometimes we get second chances, even when we don't deserve it. And when you get that second chance, do what you have to do. I was on a path to law school, but I said, you know what, this music only comes once. I love singing. I love writing. And I've been awarded some opportunities I never thought I would get. And I still have many, many more to do. I still feel like I have a lot more to do. But I said, I'm going to put law school on pause, and I'm going to give this all I got. Because law school, it will be there. And if I want to go, I'm going to go. And sometimes I say we have to declare things. If you want to do something, make it happen. And when you get that second chance, ride it out. I'm not a leader. Thank you, nice holding. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. Oh, no, I didn't let go. Oh. She went. I was so but I'll let go. In all seriousness. Of fear. Yes. Taking it all, I was letting it go. But, yes. Hey.
Hello, I'm Fayla.
Hi, Fayla.
So when you were talking about your beauty and how you overcame it. I went through the same thing. Like, what was the, like, how did you get over those insecurities with the beauty and how people treated you? Like,